We are live. Hey, it's Sue Greenwald here with Awakened Stories. I'm here today with John F. Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I am doing awesome, Sue. Just like
Uh,
always, when
yeah.
you messaged me and said, "Hey, let's do a live," it's like, "Oh wow, I'm slacking." Yeah, heck yeah.
Well, we were going to talk last week, and I basically ended up taking days off. So the reason we didn't talk was my fault, and it was an awesome week. So thank you. But it's always really important to get these messages out there and remind people that you're out here and you need help. So, as always, we're basing our conversation on John's book, Stolen Identity, which is a fabulous book. You can get this on Amazon. And we're assuming you've either read the book and or you've watched our first two videos really tell John's basic structure of his story. And then I thought I'm going to start adding in an end screen to this video that gives the basic summary of your story. And I can add as much or as little as you like, so I can add even more than I thought. But that gives people kind of an overview of what we've already been talking about. So anyway, so any topic goes. What would you like to talk about today?
I want to make a shout out. Don't go away, people.
Okay.
You just turned this video on for the first time. This is the most important story you can hear. Don't go away. They don't want you to know what I'm sharing, and I'm sharing the destruction of America, the takeover of the world by the cabal. Straight up. Don't turn the channel. You will learn something. People say, "Oh, I don't get into politics. I don't want to have anything to do." This is not politics. This is a story about the people and the slaves they have made us become. I know you don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be a slave. Nobody wants to be a slave, but that's what they are doing to us. Not no politics. I'm not running for president, but my father was president. So if you don't know the story, my father was president of the United States. And everybody knows what happened to John, Jack, whatever you want to call him. They did not stop. They took over our government. Kennedy Files, right here. So don't go away. Learn something. See the past videos. It is so important. I have lost so much. A few years ago, I decided enough is enough. My life isn't more important than this world, this country. I started sharing my story. They keep hindering us. They don't want it out, but it is that important to you. And I believe with everybody's help and everybody hits that little share button and everybody starts supporting us, we can make a big difference and we can probably save lives of many, many people. It is, I've lost so many loved ones that people just don't realize goes on. And it's not going to stop, people. It is not going to stop. So, there's people in this world when somebody needs help, they just drive right on by. They don't help. If you see somebody that needs help, Smarty Smart started this thing not too long ago, and I had it wrote down.
Help someone
You
today.
go, you go. And the letters are MO.
Oh, that's another thing. Move. MOUVE. That's a game where it's physical and mental. Like you can move your physical body, you can learn things, you can earn while you're learning. We're going to be doing a video or two on that as well and describe that for people so that they're getting excited. It's not quite ready for rollout yet, though.
Yeah, Smarty had a cool shirt on the other day. But
Yeah.
my point
Yeah.
is, there's many people in this world. There's people that don't want to help, and there's people that are have that kindness built into them already and go out of their way to help. We need everybody to help somebody in need. Is so crucial that we do this. We can say, there's two forces, and the forces against us need to be in prison. They really, really do. And they're destroying us. They're making people live in poverty and every other thing. So if we all stick together and help each other, be kind to each other, that's what it's all about. That's really what it's all
Right.
about.
Right. When you think of it and you look at the news, you see that bankruptcies are at an all-time high, suicides all-time high, prices of food and other, consumables living expenses, like everything has gone up, 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 not in a good way. Right. So everyone is feeling very stressed financially, emotionally. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of lack of, everyone feels helpless, hopeless. And, that's pretty negative stuff, basically. And even the cost of groceries, for example, has gone up maybe, I don't know, 200% in the past 2 or 3 years.
I'm thinking more than that. I
Yeah.
really am.
Yeah. It's hard to guess, but I mean, it's actually shocking. And of course, we know that throughout our lifetime, the price of everything has increased. And we're told it's inflation and the cost of living and blah, 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 it goes up. But it's been extreme in the past few years. And I believe that's on purpose to basically, of course, get the most money out of people, but also to make people struggle and desperate and hopeless, like the negative feelings and emotions.
It is.
Yeah.
It is actually a plan by the cabal to destroy us.
Right.
It really, really is. You get these people, and they're all at the top. But for example, in 1963, my father was assassinated. They came out with a 50-cent piece with my father on it in 1964. That coin, you can take it to any pawn shop, any of them, and more than likely they'll give you $9, $10 for that 50-cent piece. Now, if you get that 50-cent piece 5 years later, 6 years later, 20 years later, and you take it to the pawn shop, they'll give you 50 cents for a 50-cent piece today. Why? Because they started taking away our grassroots. We were based on money that we had. And now they don't even make money that's worth our money. You take you take a handful of pennies from back then, a handful, they'll give you more than those pennies are worth. And now you take a handful of today's pennies, they won't give you anything because they're not worth anything. So that's a good example of how they've been chiseling at us over and over through the years. So go back a few years, get a handful of pennies, take them to a pawn shop. They'll at least give you more than those pennies are worth. But if you get a handful of pennies stamped, 2024, they ain't gonna give you nothing for them. Not even a penny. People don't even bother to bend over to pick up a penny anymore.
Right. Right. Well, I guess my point is, you're right. People don't want to help others or, on the surface level. A lot of people will see someone harmed or that needs help or an animal, and they'll just keep driving right by. They won't stop. And that's because they're made afraid of everything and everybody. We see the movies, we hear about on the news, all the crime and this and that, and all the bad stuff that could happen to you. There's a lot of fear out there. And even we'll see videos where there's an animal that's being harmed and someone is standing there taping it or, recording it. Why don't you, the recorder, help the animal rather than stand there, right? But people don't want to be involved. They don't want to get, so it takes a good person to really want to help others and actually take action on that. Right.
There's so many different types of people, and I've used this in one of my videos as an example. This guy crashes his motorcycle and he's on the side of the road. You got people that'll look at him and say, yeah, he needs help, but they'll keep driving. You got people that will say, oh, wow, I should stop. I should stop and help this man. He's sitting there, and needs help. I should stop, but they keep driving also. Then there's the people that stop and actually try to help this man. And then you got the people that will stop, run up and kick that man in the nuts and run away. There's so many different types, but God bless the people that stop and try to help.
Right.
But there's so many different circumstances. When I was young, it's a code. If somebody's on the side of a road with a broke down motorcycle, you stop and help them. If you're a biker, you stop, you help that biker, you help get his chain back on his bike, or, put a plug in his tire, get him to the service, whatever you have to do. that was me when I was younger. I learned how the cabal worked. And this is a good example. There was somebody on the side of the road the other day. Robert said, I think you should pull over and stop and help that man. And I said, Robin, you're with John Kennedy Jr. now. We cannot stop because it could be a setup. That man could just be pretending to be on the side of the road in need of our help, knowing I would be coming up the highway, and we could end up dead. And we need to get this story out. More important than that guy sitting on the side of the road that could possibly have the intentions of taking our lives. And that's just how I've had to live my life. And it sucks, but that's how I've had to live my life, looking after me and the people around me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're in a different circumstance than the average person. And again, I'm talking in very general terms, but yeah, we need to help each other. And so one of the ways we can help John, and those watching the video now are probably familiar with it, we can share the video, we can share the book physically, we can write reviews for the book, we can talk about the story. And it's hard because so many people, they'll hear something new, it either makes them afraid or angry, or and how they do is they lash out and call us names, right? Because they're afraid. But if you can gently tell people the story and see their reaction, if they've got some spark of curiosity, you can tell them a little more, a little more, a little more. If you go in full force and try to tell someone a story that they don't want to hear, they're going to just flat out reject you and call you names. And, it's not going to be a pretty conversation. But if you can do it softly, a lot of people basically have no curiosity. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to have anything ruffle their feathers. So just go about your business with them. You can't change
Yeah.
them anyway, but
We are up against Goliath.
yeah.
We really, really are. What they have brainwashed people into thinking, just like they only have two candidates and they sit up there and they tear each other down. It's the same cabal members in the Democratic, Republican, in our government. Our government has been 100% taken over by the cabal people. 100%. So it really breaks my heart when I see people saying, go Harris, go Trump, waving flags for Trump, this and that. It's the cabal. They've been put in place. Your vote has never mattered for many, many years. You're basically supporting evil. Straight up, you are. You don't know it. You think, oh, this is the savior, whether what side you're voting. When I was a little kid, oh, well, we don't talk about, it wasn't such a big deal. You go vote secretly, a husband and wife would vote for a different candidate. They wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't argue about it, but it's become a circus. It really, really has. And none of them are no good. Just like Bobby, RFK Jr., and Trump the other day. It's a circus. They are both members of the cabal. They're probably not even who they say they are. And I got a lot of proof that they're not. John replaced me at 10 years old. A member of the cabal was placed, a blood member of organized crime, the cabal was placed in my place simply to steal power and money from the Kennedys. It was going on. My sister replaced, my mother replaced. That's how powerful the government is. So when you see the John, the whole world knew with Donald Trump, best friends. When you see him with Bobby Kennedy, best friends. When you see him with Epstein, best friends. They are all the cabal. You'll see many pictures. It's real easy because the cabal stick together. So now that I'm exposing my story, John, the whole world knew it was a fake. He was a member of organized crime. Google his picture. You'll see him with Donald Trump. You'll see him with Bill and Hillary Clinton. You'll see him with so many powerful people. That's why I didn't come out. These people wanted me dead. Straight up. They didn't want you to hear what I'm sharing right now, but I'm sharing it. And it is so important the whole world knows they're cabal. They have no problem kidnapping, killing, murdering, replacing children for their gain to control you and me. It is that important. So we need to share. Lives depend on it. I've lost many family members to this war. It is a war. And the end game is to control you and your loved ones and take everything you own, people. That's how important this story is.
Right.
So get a little education, do a little research. Some of the proof, some of the evidence right here on this website. Can you read that, Sue?
Yes. So website, JFK Jr. 2024.com is the website.
The
Okay.
gal that started that website, I didn't ask her to start the website. She just started it, started sharing my story. I went to it the other day. A lot of good information is on there. A lot of proof is on there from my signature, my handwriting, my pictures, my, there's so much evidence on there. It's crazy. But once you wake up, you cannot stop seeing it. Look at all the little photos of me as a kid. There's thousands of them, hundreds of videos of me as a child. And then they replaced me with the John the whole world knew. Once you see it, you can't stop seeing it. My hair went from, light blondish brown to jet black curly. My hair was straight. I have a big fat earlobe. When he replaced me after 10, he had no earlobe. It's totally attached. There's so much. Look at my dumbass face, my pug nose, my big lips. You can't not see it once you see it. And I get many comments from people, well, we just went with it. We just went with it. We saw a difference and wondered how he doesn't look like a Kennedy, but we just went with it. Well, don't go with it no more. Let's get this story out. Kidnapped, replaced, tortured. I watched many loved ones killed. And this is huge because it affects all of us. I came out with the saying, justice for John 24. It's justice for all. It really is justice for you all. So, but the key is sharing. The key is hitting that share button over and over again. Cindy K. Courier, Rise Together News. She's made some awesome videos the past couple days, but she made on one of her videos this flyer, Truckers for John. I've been a trucker. I was a trucker for 25 years, just trying to stay alive. I literally had dozens of trucking jobs. I would work at a trucking job for a couple months. I would quit. I'd get another trucking job. If I felt that they had already found me and there was a plan to take my life, I would get another trucking job. She made this, hang it up, print it out. If you got a printer, print it out, whatever you can do. Somebody said they were putting my flyers up at grocery stores. Let's hit all the truck stops, people. Trucker for John 24. Truckers are a great way. They used to have the kids on the milk cartons on these trucks, the missing children. They stopped doing that. I haven't seen that for a long time. But truckers are a wonderful way, awesome way. So if you're a lion, if you support, print one of these out, go stick it on and the movie rooms. Most of these truck stops have a little room where the truckers hang out and watch TV while they're waiting on a load. If you got make a handful of these, walk right into that trucking room where they're watching TV and say, hey, this man was a truck driver, needs his story out, and set it there for people to read it. It's huge. We can get this story out. The cabal don't want us out. They don't. This story right here, the Sue Sharon right now, is the biggest story. It should be on it should be everywhere in the mainstream media right now. It's not, because they have taken over. They are in control. So it's up to the little guys. It's up to us. It's up to us lions. We can do it. We're up against Goliath, but we can do it. And it's, it's only going to take a little snowball rolling downhill. But yeah.
The story is getting out there. You've been interviewed by Dr. Kia Pruitt a few times. You've been on a few other shows. The story is getting out. We want it out.
Thank you, Sue. Dr. Kia Pruitt.
Yep.
Look her up on YouTube. Look her up on Facebook. Look her up on TikTok. They removed her TikTok channels. They've removed her YouTube channels. When she did her interview, I think she had thousands of subscribers on YouTube. Right after she did my interview and she held up this book and said, "This is the most important story," they took her down. They removed her account. So what do we do? Brenda Scott, she sent me a message. I think it was a Facebook. She said, "I've started, this is my 6th TikTok account." And I said, "Keep roaring, sister." They have taken her account down 6 times. She keeps making a new one and sharing this right here because these lions know. I had 45,000 followers. I was like, this is going to be an awesome platform where I can go across the country and say, "Hey, lions, I'm going to be in Oklahoma City on this day." Well, they took that platform down probably because I mentioned what a good platform it would be to do that.
Right.
They don't want this story out. This story should be talking about in Congress and the Senate and on the Hill right now. It's more important than anything they're talking about. I don't care anything because it's the takeover of the Senate, it's the takeover of Congress, and I'm a personal witness. It's the takeover of our Supreme Court. Think about it. I was replaced by John. He became a lawyer. Then he became a district attorney. All that needs to be thrown out. All of it. Anything our Supreme Court has done since Justice Scalia was murdered and replaced. Anything that's been done since then, because, Justice Kennedy surrendering to Trump. They have been, anything our Supreme Court has done needs to be thrown out. My sister, Caroline Kennedy, my sister was murdered and they replaced my sister. This is people in government that do this. They replaced my sister. My sister became an ambassador to Japan, an ambassador to Australia, a lawyer. Anything she has done must be thrown out because it is all fake. She has been impersonating the daughter of our former president. Identity theft is huge, people. That's how I'm exposing organized crime and the mafia make their billions and billions of dollars. And they put in people like Donald Trump, Bobby Kennedy, Biden's. They put in them all of them. They put in the big wigs that become president, Bill Clinton, Reagan. They put all of them in. And it's a plan to slowly take away all our freedoms, our freedom of speech, our freedom of weapons, our freedom to defend ourselves. And they're making us think we can go all over the world with a story, and we can't. They suppress us on all levels from doing that. That's their plan. So we don't get organized. And, we are the biggest army in the world, we the people, and they're keeping us small. The cabal are small, but they rule the world with their billions of dollars. I hope I said all that right. I was on a roll.
You were. And here's the thing I wanted to say. This is not just a USA problem. I mean, obviously we're here and we know how the government works and all that, but this is a global issue. It's happening everywhere. All right. So
It really is.
politicians, all the royalty, all of this, all of that, all the influencers, entertainers, lawyers, judges, policemen, fill in the blank. They're all being replaced. They're all being threatened. They're coerced. The censorship is rampant. I mean, we're all seeing it in the news. Like we see every news program they say the same verbiage. And there's been lots of videos that show that. It's quite entertaining, but this is a global issue. This is our society being corrupted slowly. So we haven't noticed. Now it's big and it's in our face. We've got to handle it now.
It's all about bloodlines. It really is. Um, I have learned many things in my lifetime, many things. I was put in secret societies. But one thing I heard about people talking about in these secret societies was a one world order. One world order. So what's that mean? That means you got a handful of people that are in this little clique, and we're not invited people. They want to take over the world, one world order, keep us in chains, keep us paying taxes, keep us slaves to this one world order. It's not a good plan. It's just like a communist plan. It's not a good thing. I like my freedom. I'm sure you like your freedom. and they are taking that freedom
Right.
away. They've taken it away now. We just don't wake up to it.
Yeah.
And we all need to wake up to this freedom. And I'm glad at least we got a little platform to share it on. We got something to keep us going, but it
Yes.
only takes that little share, that little, you know, I see a lot of people leaving comments, hit that share button too. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like Brenda Scott having 8 accounts, she ain't afraid. So many people, Henry's had so many, you know, Jody, she, wonderful, wonderful woman. And they took her off, just removed her. And it's all because of this right there.
yeah.
It's all because they want to enslave us and we want the truth. You know, that reminds me of Germany when you seen them throwing all the books in the streets, burning them all. They don't want the stories out. They don't want the truth out. So get it while the getting's good. Share it. Give it to the library. Ask your library. Do whatever you can. Make a flyer. Stick it at the truck stop, your grocery store. Because I'm exposing what they don't want you to know so we can save ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all programmed, and look at we have the illusion of being free. So I always say that we're the free range humans. Okay, we think we're free. We're running around, but are we? Look at all the taxes. Like there's a list of taxes for everything, and they're only going up, 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 up. Fees. We have to have certificates and approvals, and ask people for permission to do basic things that used to be free, and we would do them without recourse. All right, so the laws are getting more harsh, punishment more harsh for like minor things, financial, like again, just you own a dog, you have to have it licensed, and you have to have that registered with your town. You have to have all these vaccinations and health things, and blah 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 blah. So it's not like you could just have a dog and feed it anymore. It's a big deal. But everything is like that, no matter what you're doing. It's crazy.
Yeah. Poor Paul
Mandatory
Revere.
things. Yeah.
You know, Paul Revere, if you know the story, you know, jumping on his horse, riding around town to town saying the British are coming. Those days are over, people.
Yeah.
They would have shot Paul Revere off his horse. They really would have.
Yeah. And gotten away with it.
Yeah, we're trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
We're saying that the takeover is now,
Yeah.
and they're suppressing our story.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about censorship so many times, like pretty much every video, but I think it was last week, a whole ton of videos were taken down from my channel.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, and I'm laughing because what are you going to do? Right? Can't fight them. Like I have disputed that, but it's not going to go anywhere. And
Yeah,
all I'm
they're
doing,
unbelievable.
literally, I am exercising my First Amendment right to free speech. All right. So my opinion is that the government is corrupted. All right. That is my opinion, and I'm sharing it with people that want to listen to that. All right. And what my goal is to get the truth out there because I want to help others. I want them to help them see what's right in front of their faces, that they've been too blind, too programmed, too afraid to see.
Yeah, they give us these platforms, and you know, TikTok's good with they say misinformation.
Yeah.
You know, when people like TikTok and Facebook and these social media sites start telling you what's true and what's not when they
Yeah.
don't even know themselves, just to silence the truth.
Right.
I got hit with misinformation so many times.
Yeah.
It's like I'm telling my truthful lifetime stories. I'm not here to harm anybody, mislead anybody. Why would they take that off unless it was to harm them from
Yeah.
taking over what they want to take over?
Right.
That's everything. That's us.
They're afraid. They don't want your story out there. All right. Because it goes against the programming that they're trying to present to everybody else. Right.
And it is programming. It really
Programming.
is.
Yeah. And pretty much everything we're watching is a show, like you said, theater, a circus. So the political system, okay, in the US is it's like, and this really bothers people. Like everyone wants Trump to come in and save them. And it's fun to watch what's happening out there, but it's a giant distraction to us. We're supposed to be like they've divided us by race, like we're supposed to be like fighting because of the race. We're divided because of sexes. We're divided because of the politics we believe in. And we're always fighting against someone else. All right. They want that because
Well,
why? When you're divided and distracted, you can't organize.
you hardly ever see a politician standing up saying how much they're going to help the
Yeah.
people, but you do see them trying to divide
Yeah.
over and over and over again. This person's no good. That person's no good. I'm the one that's going to save everything. You hear all that crap. Well, it's all a circus.
Yeah.
Like I've shared my salute. So many people have seen my salute. It's a famous photo. Well, what that was, people, was a photo op. The Secret Service trained me for that for hours at 3 years old for that photo op. Photo op. The plane under the desk. Photo op. The photos you see of me were all photo ops by our Secret Service. Now, with that said, when you see Donald Trump standing up going like this with Secret Service agents around him, that would have never happened in a trillion years. It was rigged. It was a Hollywood movie. It was a photo op so he could be on all the news channels going like this, like he's the savior. They never would have stood that man up ever. They would have drug his ass on his belly off the stage onto the ground. They would have dug him a hole and put him in it to keep him safe. They would have covered him up with flak jackets. They would have done everything but stand him up to go like this for a second shot. Ever, never in a trillion years.
Mhm.
It was fake. It was a photo op. So now you got Donald Trump going like this on all the news media. Bobby Kennedy, Robert Kennedy Jr. running as an independent. The other day, came to Arizona and stood up on stage next to Donald Trump and resigned from being an independent, resigned, trying to get that man more votes. Like I said, look up John, my body double that was a member of organized crime and the cabal, a murderer. That's right. Standing there with both of them. Donald Trump whispering in his ear. They are all cabal. It doesn't matter who wins. Robert can win. Donald can win. Biden can win, but they're all the same. They just don't say who they are, but we're exposing them for the most crimes. They all need to be tried for pre-planned first-degree murder and identity theft. All of them. Every single one of them. What they're doing to make their one world order to take us over.
Right.
So quit waving your flags for any of them. Join us for the truth, to get the truth out, to share, and we can beat this Goliath, this evil. Our prisons are full. There's over 1 million people in the United States alone in prison. The only problem is these people, these people that are lying to you each and every day are the ones that need to be in prison because you have no idea what's in their closet. I do. I know a lot what's in their closet. For them to get the position they are in, they have had to take a life. They have sworn an oath of silence because it's a death penalty if they expose themselves. That's what we're up against. We're up against people that can't tell the truth, that want to help this one because they love money. They love it. They love it, and they're willing to take lives for it. But I'm going off on a rant again. I don't know what's up with me this morning, Sue.
Hey, anything goes here. We're just telling, the stories and, we want people to understand that, like for the political system in this case, it's not like these random people decide they're going to run for president and they're good or bad or they're going to do this or that. It's been planned for years and years and years. Who's going to run, who's going to win, and what they're going to do. They're puppets, and we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it before. We're starting to see it now, right? But it's been happening for a long time.
Big shout out, King Smarty. King Smarty sent me this necklace right here. I've had post-traumatic stress disorder my whole life. What is that to me? That means when I walk outside, I think I'm going to be killed. That means when I start my pickup truck, I think I'm going to be killed. That means when I pull into a grocery store, I think I'm going to be killed. At any time, any moment, I got to be ready to protect myself, people around me. But I really think I'm not safe anywhere. So King Smarty sent me this. He said, this is for post-traumatic stress disorder. With that said, King Smarty made me 1,000 of these right here, 1,000 of them. And they say stolen identity. They got my ugly mug on there. If you wiggle it, it's like a hologram. And on the back, it's got stolen identity, unveiling the real John Kennedy Jr. And then it's got Smarty's symbol. This one has it a little bit, but it's got the what do you call that, Sue?
It's a source directives. It's like a flower of life.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's got that on the back. So I'll be getting those soon, people.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to do it, but there's 1,000, and we're talking about getting more. I don't know if this is going to be a limited edition of 1,000 or not. I was talking with King, and I got a message from Sue saying, "Hey, I thought we were going on today," and I was like, "Oh man." But anyway, I'm going to get with the King and see about how you can get one of the 1,000 of this
Yeah.
right here on the front.
Yeah.
They're beautiful jewelry, awesome, well made, and that's to come. But the King, you know, he's got a heart of gold. He's one of the guys that will stop on the side of the road and help you if you're down and out. He really is. I've seen it many times from the King, just like him sending me 1,000 of these with my ugly mug on it, and yeah. So that's
Yeah.
coming. That's coming.
And what you didn't mention is that each one of those necklaces have healing and protective frequencies in them. So the wearer, actually they have a 1,000-foot radius, I think. So the wearer will absorb those healing protective frequencies and gradually feel and look healthier. So that's why we've often commented on your appearance as we've done these videos, because when we first started talking, you were not feeling well. You really didn't think you were going to live much longer. I don't mean, and now you're kicking and you're looking good and you're getting feisty, so it's good. You can see it working.
And yeah, so yeah, if you got post-traumatic stress disorder and everything, like this one, I wear it all the time. I hold it all the time,
Yeah,
and it helps. It does.
yeah.
Mr. T, you all remember Mr. T from the '80s show? I don't remember what it was, but he's a black guy, had a mohawk, and he had all these chains on him. I always wanted to be like Mr. T and have all those chains around my neck. So I take that back. There's not 1,000 of them because I want 10 around my neck just for a photo op. There's going to be 9,990. But I want to be like Mr. T for a day and have King Smarty's necklaces around me for take my picture.
Yeah, he was on the A team.
The 18,
Yeah,
that's it.
and he made him like he stood out because he was real muscular, and of course he wore the jewelry. He had a mohawk, right? He was a big tough guy, and so we all knew who he was, right? He
And he
differentiated.
was always helping. They were always helping people,
Yeah.
which is
So
cool.
and
But I always wanted to be like Mr. T. I'm trying right here, but I only got two. So
if you notice Smarty, he always has a lot of big shiny necklaces on. It's quite funny. And I wear a couple of his charms myself that he's created. But I think yours are going to be collector's items because they have your face on it, and stolen identity. And it's, of course, you're going to get the healing protective frequencies, but I think that people are going to want them because it's you. And you're probably going
Well,
to,
everywhere I go, I see Trump flags. I go to the flea market. They have Trump
yeah,
coins. They
yeah,
have Trump sneakers, and he's a fake.
yeah,
You're being lied to with all that merchandise and everything else. And like I said, there's 1,000 of these,
yeah,
and you'll really be lucky to have one. I'm not going to be around forever, but this memorabilia, like this of my father.
yeah,
It goes on. This was 60 years ago.
yeah.
It's going to keep going. Um, I collect like I said, the 50-cent pieces of my father. I was lucky enough to acquire four that are worth $500, a 50-cent
Oh,
piece, just because they're messed up on the ear. Um, but the stuff is going to be worth money. This
yeah.
truth is coming out. We are going to do whatever we can to get it out. So you're not going to go to a flea market and see one of my necklaces sitting on a counter. You won't. You won't. So there's 1,000 of them, people.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. We're gonna do like a little shopping thing when the necklaces get to you. We'll display them and we'll talk about them more. It'll be fun, you
and
know.
there's I believe 8 different kinds. There's the big ones for the man. There's the small ones for the ladies. There's like gunmetal black, and then there's a rainbow color. But you move them like this; they're holographic,
Mhm.
and that's got that sign we were talking about right there on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But they do the same thing. They're cool. They're cool as
So
heck.
what SD stands for is source directives, and that's really the same thing as saying God's plan. Okay, so that you are here because of God's plan now, and you're fulfilling your part of the mission, right? By telling your story, like you went through a very traumatic life, and I think you probably volunteered to do that to expose the dark forces. And you're probably kicking yourself for agreeing to that, right? But I think what you're doing is exposing all these guys, which is why the heavy censorship and why no one wants your story out, right? And anyone that is associated has trouble, but you are doing what you're supposed to by getting the story out, and that's really important.
I will be 100% honest. I would love to have a little cabin in the woods where nobody knows where I'm at, a little stream where I can go fishing and go hunting and just do my own thing. I really would. But I think of people like Henry and his kids and all these lions and their children that are going to suffer if we don't get out this story that the United States, the world is being taken over by evil people.
Yeah,
And they're deceivers. They're standing up on the stage in the spotlight, millions to see, and they are lying. They're lying even who they are, but they are lying to take control over our lives. And it's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect the children. They want your property, your real property. They want it. And they're working to get it. And we need to say enough is enough. We are the ones that are supposed to be running the world, running this country. We are the people, not those evil ones.
right. And again, with government, they're supposed to be working for our benefit, right? So that our lives are better. It's fair, it's just, etc. Have we really seen any of that pretty much ever? Like, really? Because what I see is more and more laws, more and more burden on the person, and oppression, and like I said, the heavy feeling of just
You know,
survive.
you go into the real world. You go to the shopping, grocery store.
Yeah.
Look around. It's we the people. A grocery store is a great example because you don't have to buy your Kellogg's cornflakes or your Wheaties or whatever through a little hole in some glass. But you go to any federal office, any of them, you got an armed guard. You got to talk to somebody through 2 inches of plexiglass. That's what they have become. We have lost it. They're not for the people, they're for trying to protect themselves because they pissed so many people off. So many people. You know, the only way you put a big plexiglass thing in front of you is if you piss some people off.
Yeah,
And they've been pissing people off for years, and there's nothing that we think we can do, but we can with a share. Let's get my story out. Let's do it. Let's plan on taking the country back and getting rid of the cabal and putting some good, hard, honest, working people that have to, make a report. Hey, I only made $50,000 this year. I didn't make $10 billion. Let's get the people running for the people and not for their jetliners and their, you know,
right.
all their other things.
Right. Well, we're told that prices are going up because of, inflation and the cost of goods and all that, but really it's the greed of the corporate owner. So the corporate guys they're making their bonuses, they've got stock options and all that. They've got their vacation homes, their jets, their this, their that. They've got luxury. Now we're just trying to buy something like groceries or clothes. Nothing fancy, just surviving, and we're the ones paying for all of their luxury. That should annoy
Yeah.
people. Is
Well, they've
that
been
what we
they,
represented them for?
they've been chipping away at our system
Yeah,
and making us that way. I
yeah,
mean, the way the system is built up, you get somebody to flip burgers at McDonald's. That's your high school job. That's where you get put in the learning process.
yeah,
You work at McDonald's and you put yourself through college or whatever. But then they start chipping away. Oh, well, guess what? We don't want to pay you $3.35 an hour working at McDonald's because you're worth more than that. Now we're going to pay you $17 an hour or $12.50 an hour to flip those burgers. Well, the common people have to go buy that burger. So now that burger, that person that was making $3.35 an hour, it was just a
yeah,
job to help them in the job world, is making $15 an hour now. So that burger that we were paying $3 for to pay that person's wage is now $15. You go buy a bag of McDonald's for your, couple kids, you're talking $50. So you go back before when minimum wage was minimum wage, and that same bag for $50 was $10.
yeah,
But that they keep putting, and then they say, oh well, you know, COVID, you all are having a, we're all going to you're going to give you $5,000 to everybody. We're just going to give it away. That's your money. They're giving back to you to pay every American. If there's a child born in this country right now, that child owes $75,000 at birth. That's slavery. And why is that being done? Because they say, just give it away, just give it away.
right,
And we can't afford people to give our money away. It's our money. So, the things that have been going on, like
right,
money giveaways and minimum wage going up, you put all that together. That's why when you go to the grocery store, you cannot afford it.
right.
I was young. I was trying to stay alive. Years ago, I did a job. I think they were going to try to kill me on that job. I ended up going, 100 miles to build a little wall in the garage or whatever it was. And so I drove 100 miles. I stayed 2 days. I made like $200. So I had to pay for gas. I had $200 in my pocket. And that was all I had in the world. So I went to the grocery store and I'm standing in line of these people, and they got steak, they got shrimp, they got all these fine, fine groceries. and they're right in front of me, and I got a loaf of bread and some bologna. And at checkout, they just handed them the food stamp card. And I was like, I'm struggling each and every day.
Right.
And these people got a food stamp card buying steak, lobster, shrimp, and I'm eating bologna. And I'm the one paying for their shrimp and steak. And I will never, and this was 45 years ago. And I will never forget that because I, the son of a former president, was struggling doing physical jobs for minimum wage, whatever I could get, just so I could buy bologna and bread. And our government was giving away steak and lobster and shrimp to probably somebody that didn't even belong in this country legally.
Just a perfect example of some of the trouble we've got in the country / world. Yeah.
I wouldn't go on food stamps for years until I actually got sick. I think it was 2012 where I was deathly sick. I had no choice.
Right.
I had the option to eat or not eat, but my whole life was thinking that system is so wrong.
Right.
It really is. You know, our country should be giving beans, rice, and things like that away to the hungry, to the extreme hungry. You know, people have had to reach out, all these little programs, these food banks and everything. The churches have started all these to help people to stick together. We, the people, have started all this. Our government needs to be doing that, but our government needs to quit giving away steak and lobster. They don't need steak and lobster. If you're hungry, you know, a bean burrito is awesome. I've had, you know, me and my son years ago. There was so much going on. I was trying to take care of my son. There was attempts on my life and every other thing. It was crazy. But me and my son had rice-a-roni with green beans for Christmas dinner. That's what we had. We went to the food bank, me and my son. They gave us a box of rice-a-roni and some green beans. We didn't even have a chicken or anything like that, but we had rice-a-roni and green beans. And I'll tell you what, that was the best Christmas dinner I ever had because it was so tasty. We were so hungry, but I don't know why. Rice-a-roni and green beans. It was an awesome Christmas dinner.
There's so much food here on Earth, right? The Earth grows food for what? Free, right? But yet, look what we're going through just to eat. You know, we don't have time to garden or we don't have land or whatever. We rely on the farmers, right? And just the fact that you had to go through that is insane.
And for me being who I am,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
My mother,
the billions they were stealing from me, literally.
yeah.
They at that time they were stealing billions. That's why there were so many attempts on my life. They didn't ever want my story out. But they were stealing billions, and I was eating rice-a-roni and green beans from the food bank. That is the best, greatest example of our corrupt government I can give you.
Right.
And that's what they want for each and every American in the future. They've started at the top, people. They started with the politicians at the top, the Kennedys, my loved ones, and they started taking them all down. They're going down the line. They're still going down the line. Pretty soon we're not going to have weapons. Pretty soon we're not going to have freedoms. It's so close to them taking away our freedoms now. It's coming, but it's going to go all the way down to the middle class and the poor until we have nothing. So will you take over? I got to take a break.
I will. I will. So I'll do a little plug for the book while we're talking.
Awesome.
So I think those that are watching now are probably familiar with the book and they've read it, but if you haven't, this book is fabulous. Stolen Identity, available on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. Easy to read. There are great pictures in there where he describes the day the pictures were taken, what happened, what was happening in the pictures. So very interesting stuff. So please read the book, share the book, write book reviews, and ask your local library and bookstores to order the book and have that where people can borrow it or buy it. Okay, so it's easy for them. Let your friends buy the copies, or give them copies if you're able to afford that. That would be very helpful in getting the story out. And I know many of you have mentioned that you're sharing, the videos on the channel. Some of you are coming up with suppression and getting your channels or your posts taken down, but the effort is still appreciated. It's still helpful. The story is getting out slowly, so that's what we're after. At least the story's getting out. And when we get those charms, the PTSD dog tags, that'll be available for you. I don't know the price. I don't know how he'll do it, but I do know that they will have healing frequencies in them. So not only will you have a beautiful collector's item that you can wear if you choose to, you're going to have healing and protective frequencies with you at all times. So many people have reported that they feel healthier, they feel more energy, they're calmer, all the good things. And if you actually do have PTSD, that's a bonus, because not that that's a bonus. The charms will be a bonus because they will help heal the stress, which causes so many diseases and problems in your physical body, as well as emotional. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm not really a quick thinker, but I can entertain with stories all day long. But what I did want to say is, when my mother was born, she was born during the Depression. There was no food. And we didn't have grocery stores like we do now. People grew their own food. They hunted, they raised their food or whatever way back when. She went hungry so many times, and she was talking to me many times about how she went to bed without food for days. I don't even understand that, right? We don't understand that because we have food. But you notice how they're upping the amps with the money, the price of food. As a matter of fact, even during the pandemic, one of the things they made illegal for us to buy was seeds, especially organic seeds. They didn't want people gardening. Why? Because they don't want people to be independent and in charge of their own lives. So, okay, back to you, John.
That was King.
I jibber jabbered for a while, so.
Well, thank you so much, Sue.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, but that was King calling, and I missed his call. So I texted him that I was doing a live with you, but then I looked and I was texting you.
Yeah, it's all good.
So I had to go back and text King and say, hey, I'm doing a live right now.
Yeah. He says to make sure you get the package because it's on its way, or it might even be there. So he just texted me as well. So that's awesome.
That
That's
is awesome.
Yeah.
I'll
But
check it out when we're done.
yeah, so that's very exciting because, like I said, we have watched you and we've commented on, you look so much more robust than you did a few months ago. And I think you're feeling better. Plus, emotionally, you have the support of us guys that are watching and sharing the videos and the books. We're here to support you. That's got to make you feel better. But your mission is to get the word out. So we're here to help,
I made a video. They took it off of TikTok. It got over 1 million views, I believe.
Yeah.
But in that video, it was over a year ago. I thought I was dying. You can look at me in the video and you can see. So I get so many comments now that I'm looking so much better than then.
Yeah.
And it's from all the prayers
Yeah.
and the healing and
Yeah.
the love and everything being sent to me. I can feel it. I really can.
Yeah.
So it's totally awesome. People send me gifts in the mail, books and wonderful things, love offerings, and it really makes makes my life a little better. It really, really does. It's awesome.
Well,
So I know I
thank
got
you.
I got a plastic tote full of letters that I haven't got to. I apologize to if you've sent me a letter and saying, here's my number, I want to help you, call me, and I haven't. I just haven't had time. I really need a secretary. I really do.
Yeah.
to answer these people and all the emails I get. Um, like I said, what would make me happy is being in that little cabin in the woods and nobody knows me.
Yeah.
But I got to break that. I really do. I got a job to do. I got a mission to do. But if I haven't got back to you and you sent me a letter, God bless you. I thank you with all my heart. I really do. But I get overwhelmed, and I was ill last week, and every other thing adds up. But thank you so much, you all, you Lions. So appreciate it. So appreciate it.
Yeah. So we're here to support you, and your mission is to get this, message out, which, like I said, it is happening. I think we're gonna get to a point where it just goes explodes. It's like right now you're climbing, and you're struggling, and then it's gonna go boom. And then
But Robin,
that's gonna be exciting.
when I took a break and went up to the bathroom, I'm thinking we got a 4 minute. Um, anyway, I got up and went to the bathroom, came out, and Robin was watching our video, and I hadn't even got up yet.
Yeah.
So there's a big lag going on. I don't know if it's so they could censor us or how why that.
Yeah. There is usually like, I haven't timed it because we're doing this live. I'm gonna say minimally 30 seconds or so. Where like I'm watching it on my phone now so I can look at the comments. I try to do that when I can, but there's at least a lag, and I'm not sure why that is. Doesn't matter, but yeah. So it's good. So you are getting the word out. It's very exciting. And, you're going to see, once you get those necklaces, we'll do another show and show them off and talk about them.
Yeah, in the next couple days, if we can, if you get time, that would be awesome, Sue.
Yeah, you just let me know. Yeah. And I'm here as well. Like I am very interested in getting the truth out to the world, no matter what category it falls into. All right. It doesn't matter if it's political, social, whatever. The truth is the truth. We have been lied to. History is so corrupted. We don't even know what's true. And all the stuff we've been taught in school is wrong. Blows my mind. Let's see. I'm getting another message from Smarty. Yeah, we already know. He said, tell everyone about the new dog tags coming in. We already have. And we'll do a special show just to display them for people and talk about them at length. Okay, so that they can see both sides and the sizes and the colors. So we'll do that.
Yeah, and I want to get with the king because
Yeah.
he's already talking about having another order put in.
Yeah.
But what I'm hoping for that I want to talk to him about is having these in a limited edition.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 of them. Let's keep it 1,000. And maybe on the back of the next one, he can add another little healing frequency and make 1,000 of those where they're one of a kinds.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. One thing about the dog tags and all of Smarties products is when a new healing frequency is added, it's automatically updated into the necklace or the jewelry. Okay. So let's say something new is discovered that's a superfood or whatever. I'm making something up. That will be added to the necklace, that frequency, which is really interesting. And he said there's going to be blue ones as well. And so the blue ones are usually like the royalty edition. So
okay.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
talk.
I like those.
Yeah, yeah. So that's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting. But I can talk about those products with you if you like, or you want to display them as much as possible. And my guess is that all of us will want one, at least one, and they'll be collector's items. And
Well, there's a dozen people that are very special in my heart, and they're getting one.
yeah.
One way or another. So yeah, you just let me know which one you want, and it's yours.
Awesome. 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 Well, I'm so excited that we're talking, and like I wish my father were alive so I could tell him about you. you know, because of course he doesn't know, you know, he didn't know, but he'd be so happy to hear your story and that you, not your story, but that you're coming out and sharing that story because my father was also interested in the things that I am. And we talked about a lot of this stuff all the time. So I'm glad that you're out there. I'm glad you're getting traction and support. And, you know, I know listening to us talk about the political system makes people angry, uncomfortable. We get some of the haters, but the truth is the truth. And we're seeing it out there. It's distraction. It's like, why waste your emotional energy and argue and you know, online argue with people when nothing is real. Nothing is real. Nothing is truthful.
No. And
Yes.
you listeners, if you want to help, jump on board. You know, there's people like Sue and Kia and Cindy with Rise Together and Jesse Hall on the Missing Link. There's so many people that have helped, but don't. If you want to help, don't sit back. You know, hit me up, email me, say,
Yeah.
hey, I'd love to interview you. Bill Measure on Facebook. We've done a couple on his Facebook. I'm like, Bill, you need to get Zoom. Um, Facebook is so hacked, it's not even funny. We can get your story out to many. So hopefully he'll get on YouTube.
Yeah.
I got a YouTube channel. Please join me on YouTube, people. Please,
Yeah.
please.
So in the description of this video will be all your links to YouTube and your, you know, everything. And once we get those pendants in, we will do a little special show showing them to you and tell you how to order them. And what King Smarty says is that the blue ones will only be available through you. All right. So those are specialties. So you're only going to have so many of them, and we'll find out more of the details and let you all know.
I do believe there's probably 100 of each one.
Okay.
So they're really limited. I mean, there's 1,000 of them, but when you put them all down, there's 100 blue ones. There's
Yeah.
I'm getting a gold one. I want one of the big gold ones. And I told Robin, you know, she wants one of the little gold ones,
Yeah.
so we can walk around and be like matchy things, you know.
Matching.
But just to let people know,
Yeah.
there's 100 of
Yeah.
each. So there's 100 blue ones. There's 100 rainbow colored ones, gunmetal ones, and there's only 100 of each. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a limited
Yeah.
edition.
It's going to be great. So I feel like we're at a great space to rest for now, but we will do a specialty show on just those when they come in and we're ready. And then we usually talk on Tuesdays. It has deviated lately, but we can talk anytime you're open about any topic. But obviously we want to talk about your story, but it applies to everyone on the planet now. What's happening affects us all deeply. So obviously those that are watching and hanging in there with us already know that, but we want to awaken as many people as we can with the story. So thank you so much, everyone, for
Bless
watching.
you, bless Smarty, bless all you lions.
Yeah.
Thank you all so very
And
much.
thank you for getting the story out there. It's got to take a lot of courage because, you know, again, you've had the threats on your life so many times, but we're here to support you.